All right, good people. I see the green light, which means we are probably live. And yep, there it is. We are live. And I'll say a good welcome back. We haven't been on for a while. You know, life situations, and you know, let's be honest, there hasn't been a lot to talk about, so it's made it a little bit easier for us to you know, might not necessarily, you know, do a show for a week here, do a show for a week there. You know, we'll get back in the groove of things once, you know, everything is up and swinging, when we got a little more stuff to talk about. See, Antoine is in here showing love. What's up, Twan? Early here. But yeah, man, we got a decent show here tonight, hopefully. And we'll let you guys know what we're going to talk about. First and foremost, man, you know, we'll go around with myself and Smitty and just make sure everything was good that week and all of that since the last show. Also want to talk about something really quick that has nothing to do with gaming, a real life situation. You know, me and Smitty will throw something out there really quick and just see how you guys are vibing to that. And then outside of that, in terms of the topics, want to talk a little bit about what's next for sports games, man. You know, pretty much, you know, in short, you know, I'll let Smitty kick off the value with that as far as that topic. He basically wants to talk about, you know, the value of sports games, man, versus, you know, some of these other games, like what we're seeing from Apex Legends, and we'll talk about the success of that game. And then also want to talk a little bit about, man, MLB The Show 19, skipping out on online franchise once again. If you guys remember correctly, you know, we got to give our criticism fairly to every game on every company, even though, you know, I'll mention this when we get to the topic. You know, the show was one of those games that we give great applause to as far as the realism. But remember last year, they were basically saying they were going to take that year off and it would return. Now, here it is a year later, and once again, no online franchise. So we'll give our thoughts on that, what that might mean for franchise as far as that particular company and that particular game. And there you have it. But before we get started, like I said, shout outs to Smooth. Give him a quick round of applause.
What up, Smooth, man?
Coming through with the donate early. Oh,
Antoine
round of applause.
Well, man.
There goes
Antoine. What up, Antoine? Come on, man. Big ups to these cats, man. Smooth, what's good? Are they going shot for shot? That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, man, and just like I told Smitty a couple weeks ago, I'm right now, I'm going through everything and making sure I get, you know, go back to it's probably been well over a year, just trying to get everything situated, looking at, you know, everything that you guys have provided us, and give Smitty his share. That'll be coming to him very shortly. So yeah, I appreciate that, guys, that you guys continue to do that. We'll make sure that both Smitty and myself benefit from the donations and the show. You know, if we can ever get to a point where we're making the show bigger and better, I'll go ahead and say that here. What I'm looking to do, and this is what I'm trying to do as well, Smitty, on the Terrible Towel Tuesday, I'm looking into some software where we could have like an actual phone number where people could call in. You know, we could have phones queued up instead of having to use Skype and things like that. We'll see how that works. I know it'll be a little easier to get that going in Terrible Towel Tuesday whenever I find the software, is because it's just me, where I wouldn't have to be connected through another third party to speak to Smitty. You know, I could just, if it's just me, and it's easier for me to, you know, pick up a phone or whatever. But I'll figure out how it would work if me and Smitty is not in the same location. But I definitely want to do something like that, man, where you guys could just call in really quick, you know, instead of having to dial you on Skype, et cetera, et cetera. So, like, all of that stuff, man, will help towards making the show bigger and better. But anyway, man, let's get cracking here, Smitty, man. First and foremost, how was your week? How's everything been going? I know he has a new addition at home now, so we definitely want to hear about that. And then we'll talk about something really quick that has nothing to do with gaming. But how was everything, Smitty? How's everything been going?
Everything going good, man. You know what I'm saying? Everything's going good. Like, you know, little man's doing real well. It's that's my little big guy. You know what I mean? Like, he's like getting close to 5 pounds. but just real little bit, you know, and the hours and everything, you know, every few hours got to feed them and all that stuff. Got to feed them, got to change them, everything. But it's all good, you know. Like, we went through a whole lot to get to this point, you know. Being outside the house and not really being home that much. Just because, you know, he's been hospital side for the longest time, you know what I'm saying? So, just, you know, I'm extremely blessed. We're definitely blessed that he's home now and that he's healthy, doing well, you know, all that. So thanks a lot for y'all for the congrats and everything. For some of you guys that have saw me on Twitter doing the, you know, my Periscope joint the other day, y'all got to see him. So, you know, I had him, I was doing some daddy daycare with him. But other than that, you know, like I said, family's good. You know, All-Star Weekend was, All-Star Weekend was this past weekend. That was blase blah. Dunk contest was just okay. I mean, you know, there wasn't any dunk that really was a big deal. I mean, jumping over people over and over, that's not really a huge deal. But I will give it to Diallo, that dunk. I didn't expect him to put his arm in the rim when he cleared Shaq and banged it. So I'll give him that. The All-Star game is just basically a freelance exhibition. There ain't nothing big about that at all. So I don't really care about that.
That pass by Steph though, that was kind of crazy.
Yeah, that bounce pass was tight.
But Giannis going up to get it was even crazier though.
Yeah.
I didn't know what was about to happen. That's crazy.
Yeah, no, that was sweet. But I will say this though. I do appreciate Giannis. After the game, he went on Twitter and said, you know, I'm going to get in the dunk contest next year. So him putting it out there that he's willing to already go ahead and get in there. And then Donovan Mitchell, you know, co-signed on that tweet and said, yo, if you're going to do it, I'm in. So that's what we need to see happen. Like, we need to see it's supposed to be All-Star Weekend. Like, the All-Star caliber talent need to be participating in everything. You know, and I mean, you see it in the other events. You see it in the shootout. You see it in the skill challenge. But I want to see it in the dunk. You know, I want to see the best dunkers get out there and get it in. You know, the star dunkers. I don't want to get the guy that barely comes off the bench or does anything to be out there getting it in like that. Nah, I ain't with that. And one other thing I'll say real quick, 'cause I just seen him bring it up here about Zion. I know that the big old
shoes.
that joint messing up on the court and everything like that. And him nearly getting hurt. Now people saying don't play. You know what I'm saying? Nah, he don't need to play at all. And you know, that's why we need the rules to go back to letting kids come out of high school and everything else. Dude, I mean, my man had the crazy thing is Zion's covered. Even if he were to get hurt, he has an $8 million insurance policy if he ends up dropping out the lottery due to injury. You know what I'm saying? Like, if he enters the draft and he doesn't end up being a lottery pick. He got $8 million insurance policy. They will straight cash that thing in. You know what I'm saying? If it really came down to it. But he's going to be picked regardless. Yeah. He's going to get drafted as a lottery pick no matter what. But now, would I say, do I feel that he should sit out? Like, I think at this point, considering it's basically the tournament, and at this point, I think he should sit out because you pretty much seen him the bulk of the season. So, because I mean, it's about to be the tournament in a few weeks. So, it wouldn't hurt if he sat out the rest of the time and just took it easy. At the same time, I mean, if you really about competing like that, go ahead and compete.
Yeah, I need to see you in some high leverage moments. If that's just me. If I'm the GM of a team, I know I like the kid, but I want to see how they do in some pressure situations.
Yeah,
let me see that.
That's true. Yeah, so I mean, it's a toss up either way because this is the funny thing about it. even with the NBA rules in place, if Zion really wanted to maintain his value, he could have went pro overseas. He could have did that for a season and then went to the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
So there are ways of going around the NCAA. You know what I'm saying?
Didn't Brandon Jennings do that?
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
He went overseas and did that. Yep, he sure did. So, but all in all, though, that's all that I have at this point. You know what I'm saying? There ain't nothing to talk about football. We all know this is basically the drought season for this time being until we start hearing about, the pro days and the combine. I know the combine coming up soon.
Yeah.
What? Isn't that? Yeah, that's coming up soon. And then after that, we got the draft, and that'll basically be where things start to roll, because around that time, then there's going to be the buzz about, when's the Madden trailer going to come out? When the news going to drop and everything. So, all of that's going to happen around that time. So, this is just basically the lull period at this point in time. But there's other games to definitely talk about. We definitely going to, reference some of those things in a bit here. So I'm going to make some correlation points. But no, I'll throw it to Sim.
Yeah, man. Week has been good. I've been dealing with snow. Here in Pennsylvania, we got crazy snow yesterday. The funniest thing is it was just enough snow to close everything down, and then by the afternoon it was raining. So that was cool. We got a day off. Because to me, I always have to depend on it snowing in DC, because that's where my base office is at. So a lot of times we get hit with snow, but my job is still open, so I'm still working and all of that jazz. But was fortunate enough for it to hit DC, so I got a day off. But outside of that, man, everything's been good. I see somebody in here saying, what about the AAF? Maybe we'll talk about that, near the end of the show if we get to it. I don't have a lot to say about it. It hasn't really been that interesting to me. I've seen a game, so maybe I'll, try to take some time this weekend and watch some. But yeah, that's about it. That's about it. But what I wanted to talk about here really quick, man, I'm going to get Smitty's opinion as well as mine. I told you guys, man, while we're waiting for more gaming news to hit on, we'll throw some real life stuff in here every now and then. I want to talk really quick, Smitty, about this Jussie Smollett situation. Jussie Smollett. For you guys that don't know, and let me make sure I frame this the right way, because people will twist your words and they will say you had some type of motive or you were being derogatory, blah, 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 blah. So I want to make sure I'm as clear as possible. For you guys that don't know, some of you OG folks, all I would have to say is he's Journey Smollett's brother. And most of you will know who she was. Some of you probably had, thought she was cute back in the day, with her little red hair and this and this and that. So some of y'all might know who that is. When we were kids, when we were all growing up around about the same time, same age, what have you. Now, this guy's on Empire. I don't watch Empire. I haven't watched Empire since the second season. It just didn't keep my interest as much no more. For you guys who are watching it, I heard Lucius got one leg now, all kinds of crazy stuff. And I'm like, what? So many people have appeared on the show that I had no idea was on there. But anyway, let me get to the point. So Jussie Smollett plays Jamal. Jamal Lyon is his name on the show. For you guys that don't know the plot, he is a homosexual male. He came out on the show. That was a part of his storyline. But, he claims to be a homosexual male in the real world. And I say claim because I don't know him personally. This is what he's claiming. Hey, cool. But I always like to say allegedly because I don't know people's real life. So anyway, I'm just painting this picture for you guys. He comes up with this story. And he said he got jumped and robbed and beat up and had bleach thrown on him. And apparently he was in Chicago. It was about 2 a.m. or so in the morning coming out of a subway. And he says that these guys say, hey, aren't you the, and I'm not going to say it, aren't you that F word? Aren't you that F word from Empire And then they called him an N-word as well. And supposedly, you know, they beat him up and they had MAGA hats on. Okay? And I'm laughing already, guys, because y'all probably know where I'm going with this. Okay, so long story short, story's not true. Okay? He's actually in some hot water right now where they're saying that he's facing felony charges for, you know, basically making up this story and trying to accuse people of beating him up. You know, at first he said it was, you know, guys wearing MAGA hats, you know, they were white males. And then, you know, the story got broken down even further. Come to find out, there was some guys supposedly that were extras or had been on Empire before. The two brothers from Nigeria, I believe, or they are Nigerian. I don't know if they're from there per se, but it's just crazy. It's crazy now. But this is the point I want to make about real life. He went to those extreme lengths to come up with this elaborate story for what? That's number one. Number two, it upsets me, Smitty, and everybody else listening because, and I'm not going to go too far into this because this ain't the show for it, but there's some people who agree and therefore Donald Trump. There's some people who are not. I'm not getting into all of that. But what upsets me about this situation is the fact that for you guys that oppose Donald Trump, y'all sure do a lot to give him as much ammunition as he needs. Right? This feeds right into the whole fake news narrative. You see what I'm saying? Like, what was the point of saying they were MAGA supporters? Like, why? Why? What was that? What, to me, why did you do that? Even if you want to make up this story about, being, it's a hate crime because, they were picking on you and calling you names because, you're gay. Cool. If that really happened, we know this happens in the world. We know that. But why did you attach the MAGA hat to this whole story? To me, I'm like, see, this is the type of stuff that you got to look out for. And I'll say this as a black male. These are the things that I look out for all the time. Everything ain't always what you think it is. And what I mean by that, sometimes, I'm going to say it, Smitty. And I know a lot of us here, I know my homie Dad's going to understand where I'm coming from. Sometimes, man, as African Americans, man, I look around and I notice that sometimes we just try to make everything a race thing. And everything is not a race thing. Not everything. There are clear things in this country that are race related. Clear. Most of us can see that if we're smart individuals. I don't care what color you are, what race you are. You should be able to see injustice. But every now and then you get these people that tries to create these race things. And to me, that hurts the cause. Y'all understand what I'm saying? We all know that there's injustices in this country to minorities. But when you do stuff like your boy Justice Smollett, that hurts the cause. There was no reason to attach the MAGA hat to this elaborate story that you came up with. And now look at what your boy doing. That's what he do anyway. The guy is we're talking about the Apprentice star. He is a reality star. He is he loves Twitter. I mean, that's what he's worrying about right now. He's more worried about that than anything else. But you gave him, you see what I'm saying? You gave, and again, I'm not sitting here trying to say if I'm for or against. I'm not doing that because, some people are, some people ain't. I'm just saying, y'all do a great job with supplying this guy and this regime with a lot of information that feeds into the narrative that they create. That's all I'm saying, man. Like I said, every now and then we drop some real stuff on y'all, man, and I know, Smitty, we might get a little backlash from somebody. That always happens. But it is what it is. I just wanted to, talk about something different really quick before we get into the irrelevant stuff like gaming. But what you got on it, Smitty, man? What are your thoughts? Since, that was kind of close, not in the same state, but close to where you reside, man. First of all, did you believe that story when you heard it? Because I wanted to say that part and I forgot. I didn't believe this story when I heard it.
I mean, I didn't pay that much attention to it originally, so it's like I didn't really catch wind of it until it kept being further investigated. Then I eventually was like, well, let me see what this is about. Because I see people talk about it on Facebook. I see it pop up on Twitter. You know, people saying certain things about it. So I'm like, well, let me see what happened. Because, I mean, I do watch Empire. You know, like, I like it. Like, my wife and I watch it and everything. So it's like, I just was curious what the situation was.
Lucius really got one leg, man.
No, it got blown off from a car bomb. Like, it was a car bomb. But see, that's the thing. The whole story, how it all played out and how it came to that point, it was on point.
His son probably did it.
Like
the oldest.
Yeah,
that's what. See,
the oldest son.
See, I ain't even got to watch. I already know.
What I'm saying. He set it up, but he set it up. Tried to call it off. Oh boy, Exhibit. He went ahead through it anyway. He tried to distract him, and then before they both got in the car, he threw Cookie out the way, but he wasn't far enough away to, you know, catch some of the explosion. Wow. So that's why his leg got blew off. And he was in a coma for a little bit, too, because he was knocked out for a while. Lord. So, but, and then they played a whole story arc over that, too. So it was, yeah. But nevertheless, you know, I enjoyed the show and everything like that, and you know, this is like an attention-grabbing kind of moment that he tried to pull to go from. I mean, I don't know. Like, I listened to the interview, and the main thing that stood out to me that made me think, oh, this could be false altogether, was when the police needed to see his phone. To, you know, he had the evidence or whatever on his phone, and he wouldn't let him see it. So it's like, if you don't let, I'm like, so you had this crime happen. That's like, you got this crime that happens against you. You report it to the police, but then you don't want to cooperate with them. You know what I mean? That's like being like an anti-Cameron, so to speak. Something happens in your hood. Nah, I ain't snitching, but I'm gonna call the cops. Huh? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
like, nah, I just ain't gonna. Nah, we ain't gonna tell. But why you call us down here for? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like you called us and said something happened, but you don't want to tell us who did what though. You don't want to give us the details. We need the details, and that's what I'm saying. Like when that came up, I'm like, all right, yeah, this ain't adding up, dog. I'm like, something ain't right. Because why would you want to cover your phone and everything like that? I'm like, so automatically that made me not really care about it that much anymore. You know what I'm saying? And then I didn't listen to the full interview he did on ABC or whatever, but I listened to some of it, and it just didn't add up.
Didn't add up.
What he was saying, and I'm just like, and then now they see that the two dudes were on your show as extras, and then they're saying that you paid for them to do this or whatever, to stage it. And then I think they said either today or yesterday that they got the check or whatever, or they got a copy of the check or whatever, the money that he paid them to do this. So it's like, I don't know about all that. And so now they got it flipped on his head, and now he a suspect. Mugshot and everything. I'm like, all right, bro. See, this is the kind of stuff. And I know somebody has said in here, because he wasn't getting paid, he wanted to get paid more money. He didn't like his pay rate, which I know they're getting paid a good amount to do each one of them episodes of that Empire at this point. And they didn't. It's like he want more or something, or whatever the case scenario. So you choose to act out and lash out and do some silly stuff like this, man. All right, All right. You keep on playing. He paid him with a personal check. Yeah, see, there it is. So that's what I'm saying. You doing stuff like that, and that stuff is gonna catch up to you. And that's I'm sorry. That's dumb, because you know what you just did at this point? Now you just threw a big old monkey wrench in the empire, into that show, number one. Number two, you messing with other people's money, because those other actors and actresses and everything like that, you never know. Think about, remember Martin and that whole situation with him and Tisha Campbell? All of a sudden they never acted in the same room ever again. I'm pretty sure that's why they had to wrap that show up. They couldn't have done another 3-4 seasons of it being like that. Them two being in separate rooms and separate scenes and never being in the same spot. Like, that'd be crazy. That wouldn't make sense. The whole show was all of them as an ensemble cast working together. And that's what I'm saying. He does some dumb stuff like this. You done, man. You done. That's okay, man. All right. That's
crazy.
It's sad to do that. It's sad to see that. And he basically potentially messed up other people's pockets, but he definitely jacked himself up. He essentially Moniqued himself. He just did it. He just 8-6'd himself, because anything else he tried to do, ain't nobody gonna want to mess with him for at least for a good while. More than likely, I'll say. More than likely, just assuming, of course. I don't think anybody gonna want to mess with him for a hot minute. So, we'll see. We'll see what happens, but I don't see him getting messed with at all for a while. So,
shout outs to Brett Lee with the donate.
Oh, Brett. Appreciate the donation, bro.
Yeah, man. Appreciate you guys.
Okay.
But yeah, that's real quick, man. We gonna get into some real stuff, man. Yeah, that Monique thing is a different story, Jason. That's for another day.
Oh no, Dez says she got a Vegas residency. Oh, well, that's the key then.
Yeah,
At least she got that. Okay, that's good.
Yeah, that's a whole nother conversation. Maybe we'll tackle that one another week. So yeah, like I said, man, every now and then maybe we throw some real talk in there, whether it's a life thing or a real sports thing or something like that. And now we'll go ahead and jump into the gaming. But the last point I would make on Jussie, again, man, I just hate, again, being a minority. And I understand, the trials and tribulations that, we have in the country. And I just hate seeing when dudes or women, whoever it is, I just hate to see situations where they fabricate a story. And it just stagnates the whole entire point, or it just completely destroys the credibility, man, for like real victims. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't know, man. That to me, that whole MAGA hat, that was targeted. That was a targeted, fabricated story. It had nothing to do with this administration. Period. And when you throw that in there and then you dead wrong and you get found out about, like, come on, man, you make it look real stupid, real suspect. Fake news. You know what I'm saying? So, I don't know. But all right, let's move on, man. Let's get into this gaming stuff. I'm going to let Smitty kick it off here, man. We want to kind of talk about what's next for sports games. And, that's a very, very broad topic. Primarily what Smitty brought to my attention today, a topic he wants to cover is, let's talk about the value that we can get out of these sports games going forward. And he kind of linked it to the success that we're seeing from Apex Legends. So we could probably combine those two topics together, Smitty. But yeah, let's get into it, man. What do you got on that as far as the value that we can get, or how can we start getting more value out of these sports games, and talk a little bit about the success of Apex Legends?
Well, I mean, the main thing is that what has to happen, and I mean, this is across the board, but we always talk about Madden, EA, all that in here. And I mean, the key thing that they got to do is value has got to be represented. I mean, value has to be represented in terms of the quality of the product when it's launched. Period, point blank. Not after a title update, not after a patch, not after whatever you want to label it as, tuner, whatever. It needs to come out the gate on point. Apex Legends is a great reminder of how gaming used to be. Because back then, excuse me, just need a swig of water there, but back then you didn't have the option to, do a title update. You didn't have a title update. You didn't have a patch. You didn't have a tuner. You didn't have any of that. You just had to ship the game the way it was. And if the game wasn't hitting, then you're going to be in some trouble. You're going to be in some heat. Exactly. Maybe next year and maybe not. Because if you have a publicly, critically, negatively, negative acclaim title, you may not get another chance. You know what I'm saying? To bounce back. Apex Legends reminds me of that directly. Because the wild part about it was that EA moved the heck out the way.
Yeah.
They tried to get in the path. Respawn was like, nah, y'all was in the way for Titanfall 2, and all these people slept on it. Because y'all was all in the way, and y'all did things the way y'all felt like doing them, and we went along with it.
Great
this
game.
time around, yeah, and that's a great game too. So now we got this. Y'all go over there, do what y'all want to do. Matter of fact, y'all just create labels to slap it on the box. Put EA name on the box or whatever, or in this case, since it's straight up just digital download, you can put your name on the in the background or whatever, so people know it's you. But other than that, we got this. They try to interfere with marketing and development. Stay out of the way. And they straight up killed it. Knocked it all the way out the park. Home run, grand slam, whatever. They absolutely annihilated it. You get 10 million users, 10 million users in a few days, 25 million in a week? Come on, man. That's bananas. And the thing is, clean connectivity. Clean. Hey guys, new game. Come on, check it out. Jump on it. Clean connectivity. Not having all these server problems like that. Not having all these buggy issues like that. None of that. That game is pure. You know what I'm saying? And people are loving it. Heck, me being one of them. That's a solid title right there. Very solid title. Now, when I'm saying value, people are going to buy the microtransactions. They're going to, buy whatever it is they got in there. Guns, poses, whatever, not guns, but gun cosmetics for the guns and all that stuff or whatever. They're gonna go ahead and buy that anyway. I don't care, buy that. But when it comes to the game itself, it's more of a complimentary thing. It's a cosmetic, that detail. It's not gonna make the game play better, run better, give you any kind of advantageous, advantage over another user. Excuse me. It's not going to do it. So, with that being said, look at what kind of game that is. Now, what we get with Madden, every time Madden comes out, especially these past few years, we like what they do with the game at first, but we're still sitting up here pointing out eyesore issues.
Mm-hmm.
Even before a patch. Now, once that title update come out, oh yeah, it's a wrap. The game's no longer the same way that it was. Hey, my man Kia shared a clip with us not too long ago from my man Joke or whatever, from when he was playing. the way he intercepted the ball with his linebacker, there's no way he should have been able to get there to make that play. There's no way. If the RPM tech was working the way it was when this game first launched, there's no way he would have been able to do that. And that's what I'm saying. Value. The game has to hold value. The problem with games like Madden and Live and such is that they're basically it's like having a Bentley. It's like having a Bentley or a Rolls Royce. And what ends up happening is when the Rolls comes out and you start driving, you see it in the driveway, right? It looks extremely nice. When it ain't driving in this part, it looks outstanding. But the problem is you got to actually drive the car somewhere. When you start to drive, all of a sudden the car feels the ride is real shaky. The door panel comes off. All these parts just start shaking off and falling off, aka title updates and patches and tunings and such, right? So all the things that look good in your car that you marveled at that made you want to get the car are all of a sudden gone, or they're a shell of what they were supposed to be, and that's just within a few months' time. And you're like, man, dang, I just bought this new car. Why is it like this? That's exactly why. You got to have the quality going into the product. The product and that quality has to shine outside the product as well. People have to be able to see and play this game and be like, yo, I love what they did with this game, man. I can't wait to get back on the sticks. I can't wait to play this and blah 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 blah. That's what it used to, that's what it should be. That's what Apex is. So when you look at Madden and Live, and to an extent when you look at 2K and MLB The Show and stuff like that, and they basically selling you the car, but there's something wrong with it, but you just can't see it yet until you actually fire it up. Now, you'll see some problems, but then you can say, well, I could tolerate that as long as, you know, the other aspects all hold together pretty solid. Then I'm all right. Oh, we got a anorexic franchise mode. We have gameplay that gets rolled back over and over again. We have plays in secondary AI that don't necessarily play the sharpest when it comes to what's happening on the field in front of them and things like that. So it's like, when that stuff just keeps on happening time after time after time, people get tired of it. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
I want a game that has high replay value off top. Show it to me. Look at Anthem. Look at Anthem. Now, I don't know if you've been paying attention, you know, if people out here have been paying attention to Anthem, but that game is under the gun. If you go to Metacritic, you see the media reviews. It's pretty much, it's mixed. It's a mixed bag. Not one review they have yet is in the green. You know how it is. They have green, yellow, and red. All of them are yellow. And it's because there's a slew of problems that they have in their game, that core-based game right now. You know what I'm saying? And like what I was saying to Sim, they got loading screen problems. Loading screens take forever in a day, and you keep getting locked up in them for whatever reason. You know what I'm saying? And then gameplay, it's gonna feel very repetitive as well. Side quests, or not side quests, but to complete some of the main quests, they have you do a bunch of side quest kind of stuff on purpose, and some things you have to do with your team. You know what I'm saying? One of the objectives to complete a challenge or whatever, you have to reveal one of your teammates. Like, well, why should that even be a part of it? You know what I'm saying? That shouldn't even be there. But yet, those are one of the goals that they have. If you are expected to complete this mission or complete this sector, you have to do this, that, and the third. That's jacked up. Cause it's like this game. Honestly, I was somewhat looking forward to it, but now might as well wait for a sale on it right now, man. Like for real, because of how they put this game together, and that's what I'm saying. BioWare has 7 years to do this, and now this is now look. EA doesn't get involved. Look at what Apex Legends was. I know EA, when EA's name is all over that game, it's gonna showcase it. 7 years in a company like BioWare, those cats are way more than capable to deliver us a very good game. Way capable. They got it. But then to put out what they're putting out, no, dude, that's not gonna cut it. That's not gonna cut it. And that's what I'm saying. That value, once again, that value goes, down the drain of the game. People don't showcase that interest. You had Zan the other day sitting up here posting all these clips where he's raging over stuff not working right. Even basically through the ultimatum, Madden 20. If it's not hitting like this, that, and the third, I'm switching it up. I'm gonna have to start shying away. Now he basically retracted it, but let them not deliver. Let them not deliver. And what's gonna happen? You know what I mean? But see, that's the real question. When it comes to value, what are you really going to do about that? If you don't like the value that Madden gives, what you gonna do? Not play? You're just not gonna buy? You gonna wait for 2K to come out? Stuff like that or whatever, or you gonna play another game in the meantime? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
how many people are actually going to do that? Because at the end of the day, Zan could talk the way he talked. He's still going to be playing Madden, buying it, whatever the case scenario. He's doing all that. You know what I'm saying? Now, we'll see what the game actually brings to the table, but if it's not bringing anything worthwhile, it's just a waste, man. It's just a waste. And that's what I'm saying. I seriously hope The Division doesn't come out like how Anthem getting ready to come out. That would be bananas. You know what I'm saying? It'll be real jacked up too to see for it to play out like that. But
Division got a lot to prove to me after that first one, because it surely didn't release the way I thought it would have, based off of first that original trailer, and then based off of the fact that it was late. They pulled it. So you thinking, oh, okay, they gonna get this game Trump tight. And I can't say the game was bad. It's just I had too high expectations for it, man. I think they got me. They got me with the advertising. I thought it was gonna be a better game out the gate. It ended up being a relatively decent game though, especially with all the patches and all that ended up coming. But yeah, they got me.
Oh, no,
but yeah, man, I think Smitty hit it right on the head. And you guys have to excuse me if I sound a little late to the party, or if I sound like I'm doing more than one thing at a time. I'm trying to knock out this league game here I'm playing in the Sim Standard League. Having a very, 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 very terrible season, but it is what it is. But it's just. Smitty hit on it right away, man. It's that gameplay. The gameplay has to be pristine with any game. That to me is what keeps that value. You know what I mean? Like, there should be a value in a game from just not wanting to get off of the sticks. You can't wait to play again. And I can't say that I feel that way about Madden. And the sad part about it, I was telling Smitty this before we got on the show, and it's funny, man, because as much complaining as I do about Madden, or you might hear Smitty do, or any of us, anybody in the community, the game is not as far away as some would try to make it. If they just were to fix some of these core problems and free the game up, this game could be something, man. I mean, I'm seeing things, even now that I'm playing back on the PS4 from my offline. I explained to some of you guys why. It's just because, like right now I'm in the man cave. That's what my computer is. I'm not at the PC as much as I am with the PlayStation. So, sometimes things like that are going to happen. But anyway, I'm even seeing stuff, man, the more I play the game, where I'm like, wow, if that could just be a little more consistent. If they could just free up some of these animations. Stop allowing so much forced outcomes. Stop allowing so many two-man sequences that can't be interrupted. I just seen one right here in this league game. You guys have all seen the one when you're running in the hole, right? And you go into that, the guys being blocked and tackling you at the same time animation, and you just can't do anything. Those type of things. If you get rid of some of that stuff, man, and you make weight and momentum mean more, a player's relative position to the ball, to the play, etc., mean more. Now we're talking. Then you would have a game that you be like, yo, man, I can't wait to get back on them sticks. We don't have that right now. And it's still fun to play. I will say that when I'm playing in a league, it's fun to play because of the camaraderie and all of that. But it's just, if I had to do without it, I could do without it. And that's the biggest problem, in my opinion. It has to start with that gameplay. And when I picked up Legends and played it a couple times, like last week or so, I was like, wow, this is kind of fun. I wanted to keep playing. 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 And the game is free. That worst of all, or best of all, however you want to look at it, the game is free of charge. And look at the value and the replay value that it offers. So I wonder, Smitty, man, I really wonder what's next for these sports games, because seeing what Fortnite did, and I want to come back to you, Smitty, because I want to hear, I know you've probably played it more than me. I want to know, what are the differences between this game and Fortnite? I mean, obviously they seem very similar in terms of how they're set up, but I want to kind of know, if there's any key differences that you've noticed. But outside of that, when you look at the success of a Fortnite, and now EA semi getting on board, putting their name on Apex Legends and some of these other games that are free to play, and they're having so much success, it really makes me wonder, where are sports games going? Especially when you look at the situation. I know we're going to talk about it here in a moment. You look at MLB The Show 19. Here they are coming out with 19. Once again, didn't address the problems that they have with online franchise. It's almost like they're devaluing the relevance or the importance of franchise in that space. So it makes me wonder. I don't know, man. I mean, remember, Rex asked us a while back, think of some things, in franchise that that can make the game more of a, a service-based game where, it's a living, breathing thing all the time. And I wasn't really able to think of too many things, but obviously the live service model is what everybody wants to go with now. And again, you're seeing it with free products that are doing it. Really makes me wonder, man, what the future is and what's new and what's next for sports titles. But really quick, Smitty, man, what are some of the differences between Apex Legends and Fortnite?
I mean,
are there any? I mean, I don't even know.
Yeah, I only dabbled in Fortnite, and I mean but they're similar in terms of how you drop in, but as far as the dang it slipped my mind already. Goodness gracious, just had a brain fart. Hold on, what was the question again, Sim? I'm sorry.
What are the differences between Fortnite,
Fortnite and Apex
and Legends?
No, there's no Fortnite. You're able to build stuff and everything like that. You know what I mean? Like that's the big deal with that. Whereas, you know, Apex Legends, you got super moves, you got specials, you got, you know, these characters that all have different classes and types. I don't think Fortnite has something like that where you pick a class type and then that's, you know, that's who you run with. So, but I mean, they're both in a similar bracket. I wouldn't necessarily put one over the other though. So yeah, I would just say that both of them have a very similar core. You know, as far as that whole open world-esque battle, you know, that battle royale setup. So that's all I really got on it. I don't have a ton between, you know, the two games being on PC like that. I really don't know. So I really don't know. I really don't see a huge, like, there isn't something drastically different, to me at least, that stands out between both of those games. So.
Gotcha. And I see somebody in the comments said really the main difference is Fortnite, you know, the building. They're saying that is a must, and in Apex there's no building. So all right, yeah. So Smitty was right on board with that. So yeah, man, it just goes to show. You know, it's funny because in sports games, right, you have certain people that'll be upset if, you know, this company copies from that company, or if that company copies from this company, and clearly. I mean, we looking at clearly a carbon copy, but success is success. I ain't mad at them for doing it. So yeah, that's just kind of funny, man. But outside of that, guys, I don't guess we have anything else to talk about in that space. We can move on to MLB The Show, and you know, I'll kick this off, man. To me, as a franchise guy and a franchise head, it's very disappointing. Have I ever played in an online franchise for baseball? No, I have not. But there are people in that space. I know quite a few guys that I've spoken with. I mean, hey, guys like Marcus, you know, M. Frisk, and you know, to me, we can't give excuses to games. I see people doing it, Smitty, and I got to call it out. Well, I mean, that game is so good, I'm not going to really worry about it. No. We can't give them an excuse that their servers don't work good. That's a problem that the MLB, you know, dev team or whoever it is that's behind it, San Diego Studios, that's a problem. It's the same thing we've said about 2K. Because I don't know how it is as far as 2K now in terms of servers, because I don't play, you know, server-based games in 2K. So I have no idea. I just know for many years it was a problem. And then, you know, when we talk about a game like Madden, the problem with Madden is the gameplay isn't as stellar as these games. So they all have their goods and their bads. But we can't look past that and say, oh, well, you know, their game's so good, you know, we got to give them a pass. You know, that's MLB. Nah, it ain't. Because there's people in their community that want to play a franchise online. Diehard baseball guys. And on top of that, it's almost like Madden in a sense of saying it's the only game of its genre that people really care about. I mean, of course, you got your RBI and all that now, and you know, Super Mega Baseball, but y'all know what I'm saying. A real, you know, legitimate baseball game. It's the only one of its kind. It's only on one console. So in that regard, you could say it's the only game in that space, just like Madden is the only game that really matters in the football space. So it's disappointing, man, because last year, you know, they made it an effort to let people know that, well, we're going to rip it out. You know, we got to get some things worked out and it will return. So to me, it's concerning to see that here they are, second year without it, and it has not returned. You see what I'm saying? So I don't know, man. I can't give it a pass, nor will I give any other company a pass. You know, we got to take things at face value when they tell us, you know, we're going to work on this, we're going to try to get this fixed. It's not fixed. So that's a problem. But outside of that, to kind of go back to what I was saying before, well, what we were saying before about gameplay, it just goes to show you, man, when your gameplay is good, you don't really have a lot that you have to do. Like, I find it funny, man, the MLB is really in a situation where they are dangling trying to find more things to do with the game. If you look at the stuff, they ain't really do nothing for this year. They've made improvements, but they haven't really done much. They're improving the PCI, and they're adding more defensive animations. But you understand what I'm saying? This ain't a knock on them. What I'm saying is the gameplay is that good to where they really don't have a lot of stuff to do. And I mean, I would love for that to be my football experience, for us to have that problem. And we don't. So, I don't know, man. Those are just my thoughts on that. What do you think, Smitty, man? Is it a big deal that MLB The Show is still unable to get the online franchise portion of their game up and running? Should we be giving them a pass?
Don't need to give them. Don't need to give them a pass. But I feel that they should definitely be trying to take advantage of it. Excuse me. And showcase that they got stability throughout the rest of the game, because that's the problem. That's been a big time problem with MLB The Show is connectivity, server issues. They always have those issues with MLB. Always have had them. So, I don't mind them not having an online franchise until your game is stable online. What I mean is, you get one of those, you get dang it, man, I hate it when this happens. Oh, what is it I was about to say? I was about to say about gosh, I'm having that putty brain right now. Hold on. Well, I'll say this. MLB, the cash making aspect of the game, because we know that the part of the game that makes the money is really the biggest deal. Okay, so when you look at MLB The Show, here comes the daughter. When you look at MLB The Show, and you look at Diamond Dynasty having all these server issues and stuff like that, it would be key for them to get the game running smooth out the gate and keeping that consistent this year. And then if they choose to go back to it, but at that point, I wouldn't mind, if they brought back franchise. Now, if they don't do it next year, then that's where I would be like, okay, yeah, there's an issue here. This ain't right. But at this point, because I look, I know it was like years ago when VF and I and a few other people tried to come together and do a league, an online league together. And we could barely play games online. We could barely play a game. You know what I'm saying? And it just wouldn't work. So it's the same thing here, man. I don't see it as much of a difference. It could do the same thing here. And I mean, I think that they'll be all right. Like, it'll be a year of not having that online franchise. That is a big time bummer. Because if you're replicating a sport, especially the good job that they typically do with baseball, with their baseball game, Sony, yeah, no, they gotta right that ship. So, but no, that's pretty much that's all that I have as far as MLB The Show. Because like we always talk about, core elements, have that right first, then you build out. It's kind of as if they basically did the opposite of that here in this case scenario. But it is what it is. That's what that's how they choose to operate. And we'll just have to, wait and see how things unfold. So I'll throw it back to you, man.
Yeah, man. I just think I get it, man, but it's crazy that we're having that conversation about a MLB and a 2K. And what I mean by 2K, just think of how many years that we've all had to say, man, when they gonna get their servers right? And like I said, somebody correct me in the comments. I don't know if the servers are still right. I have no clue. I don't play 2K modes online. I don't do the my career and my play. I don't do that, so I wouldn't know. But it's, to me, I'm sorry, man. It's just crazy that the games that are on that caliber, I just don't get. I don't get it. I don't get how we're waiting all of this time. I mean, it's 2019, man, and I agree with what Smitty is saying about wait until it's right. But why isn't it right? You've been making this game forever, and it's the same argument we can make about Madden, about why the gameplay ain't back together yet. Even if you had the debacle in 2006, it's 2019. So I'm tired of it with these games, man. I mean, again, I'm not looking for perfection. This is all I want from video games that I play. It's very simple. I want the games that I play to give me what they advertise. If you have a mode in which I can play franchise and the option is there, I should be able to do it online if I want to. It's just that simple. Like, I should be able to play these games the way that you are advertising the game in your game, within the game. And again, it's not like they're out there trying to say play franchise. I know that. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is that's a part of the game. So you're allowing people to have the experience of, managing MLB, excuse me, managing a baseball team, but they can only do it in an offline setting. It's just, I don't know, man. And then, the same thing goes for Madden. You giving us a franchise mode, but we can't even adjust contracts, and front load, back load. I mean, it's just, I'm tired of having these onesie type of, like incomplete options in these games, man. It's ridiculous, man. It's really ridiculous. I'm sick of it. I just can't do it. Can't do it, man.
Yeah.
But, but there ain't really much we could do about it. And that's the problem. There's really nothing that there is to do about it. But whatever. I'm just one man complaining, man. And I'm pretty sure I'm gonna get MLB The Show because I love the game. The game is great. I dig it. Fortunate enough, it doesn't interfere with my experience with the game because I don't play it in that regard anyway. I don't play it that way. So, But what else we got, man? Is anything else we can cover tonight? I ain't really got much more to talk about, to be honest. No other topics. Was there anything else you wanted to hit on, Smitty?
I honestly don't know. What else to truly hit on right now. I really don't know.
What about you guys, man? In the chat,
y'all got something in the chat. They could bring something up to brew up here.
I will say this, man, while we wait to see if anybody has anything else, man. Listen, I don't proclaim to be the best Madden player. I win some, I lose some. I have good seasons, I have bad seasons. I generally play against guys who are very competitive and know how to play the game. I'm gonna be brutally honest here too. Some people know how to play the game. Y'all understand what I'm saying? They know the game. They don't know football. And I'm not saying that they don't know football in that sense, but I'm saying it in this regard. A lot of guys that I've played, and there are some in our league, they just know how to manipulate the game. And what I mean by that is, what I'm tired of, right? I'm tired of being able to put my guys in position and they still don't play. And I'm talking about they right there. You got them in the position, you're telling them exactly what to do, and they totally do something else. I'm tired of these two-man animations that you see just override. It's like the one that just happened right now. How many times have we seen the one where, the back gets hit, but then he's able to still drive through and he falls forward for another 4 yards? Why is that? I'm tired of that kind of stuff, man. I'm tired of the deep safeties just standing there and watching the play out. And I know people will say, okay, you got to get your user game up. I get it. I get it. But I can't use everybody. I can't use all the safeties. I can only control one. So what about the other guy that just refuses to cut off the post route? Where I'm telling him to play inside. Don't let anything inside. Where I'm telling the guy, and I've even tried some of Kia's tricks, where you can manipulate, the shading and all that type of stuff, playing underneath and then back and, then playing over the top and press and sometimes it still don't work. And again, this is coming from a guy that I'm not expecting. I am not expecting my guys to make the play every time. I never expect that. I want to see my dude not being able to get there because he's either not fast enough, read it a little too late, etc., etc. I want to see that. But what I don't want to see is that they completely act like they don't know what's going on the field. It makes no sense. I'm tired of seeing it. Look, just happened to me right there. I'm tired of seeing defensive ends being able to cover halfback screens and almost pick it off every time. And I'm not talking about an elite defensive end. I'm talking about it. What is that? Let's face it, a lot of times, listen, I'm not taking credit away from anybody, but a lot of times when you play this game and you lose a game, it's a lot of times, man, these guys are not really beating you. It's the game allowing, you know what I mean? And again, I'm not taking credit from anybody. There are guys in the league that are very good, very talented players in this league. I mean, dudes are nice. Kia played in this league at one time. But Kia knows as well as I do, some of these dudes, Madden helps them. And that's just the facts. It don't matter what you do and how much you try to game plan and how much you try to put dudes in position. It's like this game y'all should see this game right now. It's like the game has a switch and it just decides, all right, we're going to let you play good this time, and then next time we're going to make all of your players play bad. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Guys, okay, I'll give y'all an example. I'm constantly having games, right? I have games where Le'Veon Bell does his thing here and there. Cool, right? I ain't beefing about that. But in the same game, even the one I'm playing right now, Le'Veon Bell can't break a tackle. Can't get a broken tackle. No truck. Nothing, right? But his running back, which definitely doesn't have the same, nowhere near the same ratings, is breaking every tackle possible. Spinning through 3 or 4 people and still on his, what? And that's what I'm saying. There's no balance in Madden at times. Where's the balance? And again, I don't want to sound like one of those guys that act like that can't happen. A regular dude can do that too. But y'all know what I'm talking about. You guys who play Madden, y'all know what I'm talking about. There are times where they make one team non-existent. You can't get any pressure, no coverage. But the other team, how many times have y'all seen those lopsided games like that? And it just makes me question it. It makes me question, does any of this stuff matter? Does these ratings really matter? Or is it just a behind-the-scenes dice roll that's going to kick in every now and then? I don't know, man. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it. And that's why I have become more of an offline Madden player, because it's a better experience. But like I said, I'm going to always stay in this league because, you know, we started this league. You know, I'm going to definitely represent the Sim standard in the league, whether I have a good season or a bad season. But I'm just, oh, man, I don't know. I don't know. Look at this. Guys, I have a guy on, okay, so on my team, I've drafted Cleveland Farrell, right? He's been on my team now for 3 seasons out of Clemson. His overall is a 90. I think I got his finesse move up to a 90. No pressure. 0. How is that possible? How is it possible? I mean, even if you look at his matchup, he is green all the way across the board. No pressure. Y'all see what I'm saying? And then there's other games where this dude, it seems like, I don't want to say he runs amok, but there's other games where I don't even understand why he's getting pressure, because I'm facing off like against the best offensive line in the league. I don't get that. I don't you don't see the dominance in this game. You don't see J.J. Watt being J.J. Watt at all times. Von Miller being Von Miller at all times. And why is that? That's my question. Why is it that this game cannot replicate real football and real matchups? I don't understand it, man. And I'm sick of these guys, man. I'm keeping it 100. I hope these dudes are listening. I'm sick of some of these dudes in this league that think they that good. They ain't. They not. Kia knows it. I want Kia to say something. Kia know it. Smitty knows it. Some of these dudes is not that good. And I'm going to be honest with you. Y'all have seen my videos. And I'm on a little bit of a rant right now, man. Y'all have seen the videos I've posted of the league and when it's in my favor, and I still complain. I've seen situations where I find Juju Smith-Schuster in the backfield. I mean, in the back of the end zone. And both the corner and the safety stand there and watching. Juju running 2 and 3 and 4 different routes. And my opponent's safety and corner just watches him and allows him to score. I don't, that kind of stuff, man, it just kills the immersion, any type of immersion that you can try to have in this game. Ah, man. I can't, Smitty. I don't know. I don't know where we go from here. I don't know where we go from here. And I can understand. Let me bring it back to what Smitty said a few moments ago. When he said Zan went on a rant. I understand it. And Zan is a guy who is very... see, this is what I'm talking about, Smitty. Well, you know what? You can't see it, so I can't even show you. But Zan is a guy who is very knowledgeable about football, as well as he can play a competitive style of Madden. And he has had it up to here with this game. I'm on the same boat. Y'all have heard me say this for weeks now. I'm tired of this same old. Give me something, EA. I can't go through this again with this game over and over. I can't do it. 20 is going to tell me a lot. Kia says, my personal favorite is when you get sacked in under 3 seconds when you have a max. This is what I'm trying to... Kia. I don't understand it. I'm telling you, it's something internal in this game that allows it to just, it's a switch that kicks on. I fully believe that. I'm going to give y'all another example. Though I have traded him away now, I can't even count the amount of times, guys, that Antonio Brown is going up against cornerbacks that have nowhere near the ratings. And he's losing the one-on-one every time. In some games. I mean, you can't buy a 50-50 ball with Antonio Brown. The highest ratings in the game. Explain that. Because even if we want to use Madden's logic, right? And we're going to say it's a dice roll, how come the dice ain't rolling his way? if he got the best ratings. And look, Nakia just said it. Antonio Brown is awful. Yes! How is that possible, people? Oh, y'all done caught me on the night when I'm a little bit pissed off, man. I had to let y'all know it. How is it possible? This stuff should not be happening in a football game that's supposed to be representing football. Now, is Antonio Brown supposed to win every situation? No. He doesn't in real life. But come on. How many times in real life have we seen Antonio Brown win the 50-50? The dude made his hay doing that. I don't understand it, folks. I don't understand it. I will never understand it, man. But that's my rant for the night, Smitty. I gave us a little something to talk about. What Kill King's is that King Sacco? I guess that's how he pronounces it. He says all cornerbacks play like Deion Sanders. Yeah, man. Every one of them. I swear, every one of them. It's like you just can't. Antonio Brown can't do nothing. I don't understand that. I don't understand it, man. And again, like I said, I'm going to give praise to my brother AzureEffect. Azure called this a long time ago. If something happens when you go user to user, something happens. It's a better experience to me. Even, if you get your sliders right, you can even get it to play more balanced against the CPU on all Madden. But it's something about when you play a user is some craziness happens. I don't know what it is. I don't have the answer. And look at this. I'm tired of this too. Here's another one for y'all. Well, two more. They're kind of one and the same. Why is the SWAT so effective? What I'm talking about is the situation where your guy catches the ball and you almost know immediately when that animation triggers and the SWAT the ball gets knocked out. How is that so effective against every receiver in the game? How? What does catching traffic do? If you could just knock the ball out of any receiver's hand. What does it do? What's it do? Why is it so effective? The SWAT. And why is it that you could just brush past somebody and the ball comes out on contact? All you got to do is lightly touch them. Ball is out. I'm tired of it, man. I'm just tired of the scripted, like, oh, God, man. I'm sick of it.
Yeah. Hey, remember, like what Azure had pointed out, remember all those features that they nerfed out through patching and stuff like that? Remember the organic knockouts?
Yeah. It's
gone now. That's an afterthought. These 2-minute animation sequences are there. It was like, excuse me. It's like in the grand scheme of things, this is if this game was doing stuff to progress toward making it a more realistic experience of football, and then along the way, it's like somebody just took a big old monkey wrench and just threw it in the gears. No, we're not going to do it that way. We're going to do it this way. No, we're not going to do it like this. We're going to do it like that. And then ultimately we suffer from it. So
Tired of it, man.
yeah.
I'm tired of it.
It's very annoying. Very annoying. That's like what Sim had said before. Madden 20. You know what I'm saying? There's a whole lot resting on that game to see what's really good. What's really good, as far as the game.
That's it for me, man. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
As far as, and I'm not going to sit here and be a hypocrite and tell y'all, oh, I ain't going to play it. No, I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is Madden 20 is going to let me know truly what's up with the game. It's going to let me know if we can really expect progression. That's going to be the game that is going to help me to know that. And here's another, oh boy. Here's another thing that grinds my gears, man. And again, it's supposed to be a sim league, right? And I have to call people out a lot of times as a commissioner. You are winning the game. You are up by, I'm losing right now by, what is this? 16 points? It's a minute and 50 seconds left. It's third down. Why do these guys, like, a lot of times, some of these guys in the league don't want to just take the win and get out of there. They got to keep trying to force the ball. I mean, this dude just threw the ball down to the 3-yard line. I knocked it away. But it's the fact, like, what? Why? And we constantly have to talk to people about that. You know, like, why? Just salt the game away. I'm not going to come back. Me right now, I'm running the ball. I'm not even passing it. Because to me, game's over. Let's move on to the next week. But we constantly have to deal with that with some of these dudes. It's almost like, and that's the thing though. Madden has become this game of how many points can I score, how many stats can I get, and blah. Like, come on, man. I'm tired of that too. That's a whole different thing. But I don't know. But that's the culture though. That's why, if you notice, almost every sim league, with the exception of MBL, almost every sim league has times where they have to get rid of somebody or somebodies because grown men just won't, won't play. Just stick to a little basic rule. That's a basic rule. A little basic rule we have, like, if you up by X amount, game over. Just get the game over with. Why are you still trying to pick up the first down for it? You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Yeah, that's just very weird to me. But anyway, guys, my rant has taken us to 9:58, so I did give you guys some more content there. Smitty, you got anything else before we get up out of here?
No, actually, I don't. No. It's just been those two glaring things, basically, that we touched on already. That's pretty much it, at least at this point that I got.
Yeah, I ain't got nothing else, man. And it's a shame too, man, because when you play the game the right way, you can get a fairly decent game. I've had games when I played against Kia. I've lost to Kia. I actually one time actually won a game. I don't know how I did it, because Kia is very good at the game. But it was enjoyable. Like, that's the thing. It's like, that's the main reason why we still play in the league, because you'll have a couple bad apples here and there. But for the most part, dudes play, a very clean style, and, we're trying to strategize against each other. But the problem is, again, the game itself just is so hit or miss. It's crazy. It's funny because I seen Kia did a video, and I know it was more MUT based, but he did a video talking about Harrison Smith and how he's good, in coverage. I got Harrison Smith sitting at, I think, about an 89 zone. And this dude sometimes he plays like he has no idea like, how is that possible? There's certain guys that you'll never. Let me say that real quick, Smitty, and then we get out of here. I know you hear Smitty and I both say, look, man, in the game of football, it's chaotic. You never know. This could happen, that can happen. Everybody can make a mistake. Very true. Very true. But let's not act like we don't know that there are certain players in the league on that field that they're not going to make certain mistakes. You might see a guy be out of position. That's one thing. But you're not going to see certain guys just act like they don't know what's going on the field. That's my biggest problem with the way Madden replicates this game. And I don't know if it's on purpose and they're trying to replicate mistakes, but it just looks so bad when your guy doesn't do nothing. And I'm talking about Harrison Smith is watching somebody catch the ball. Before, the ball is thrown 2 seconds in advance before he even reacts. How is that possible when they're watching the quarterback the whole time? And this is what I'm saying, because I'm one of those, extremists. I go back and look at replay of the games even when I lose, and I'll even look at the games when I win. Like I said, I got a video on the channel right now showing you where I won the game. And I got a touchdown to Juju in the back of the end zone, and I was pissed off about it because I'm like, wait a minute. Why isn't his corner and his safety doing anything? They just going to stand there and let Juju get off? Go back and look at the plays, man, and you see that the safeties quite often just stand there. They looking right at the quarterback. And that's what I'm talking about. You go back and look at your plays, and you have put these guys in the right position. You called the right defense expecting the exact route combination. I remember it was a video I put up a while back, and Kia even commented on it, where he said, yo, you made him throw it exactly where you wanted him to throw the ball, and my safety does nothing. I'm playing the underneath coverage because I'm going to be honest, sometimes I'm a little nervous to play the safety. I do sometimes, but again, I can't control both of them. So times that I'll do that, a lot of times I will control the safety on the weak side. And there are times where I would do it on the strong side if I have a idea of what he's doing. But a lot of times in that scenario, I'll take the nickel guy or I'll take the linebacker. And in that particular instance, that the video I posted a while back, I played it perfect. I even baited him to throw it where he threw it. Nothing. I took the underneath away, bracketed it, and my safety just stands there and let him catch the ball. That's what I'm saying when I say there's nothing you can do in those scenarios. And again, I'm be the first one to say it's times where I win the game and I don't even know why it went that good in my favor. Same game plan, and for whatever reason, the team is playing differently now. It shouldn't be like that. Yeah, guys should have ups and downs, and I would love that. Okay, I would love that if Madden had morale and chemistry, like NBA 2K has, and if there's something going on in the locker room, like in 2K, if you got the wrong guy mentoring, I would love that. But that's my point. That stuff ain't in Madden. Definitely not in CFM and franchise. So to see these things happen and you don't know why, that's a problem to me. That's a problem. But all right, man, I digress. I'll get up out of here. I'll throw it to Smitty one last time. I know I've asked Smitty 100 times, but anything else you want to say, Smitty, before we close this thing up? Excuse me.
No, I didn't have anything else to add on. That's like I said, everything's pretty much been touched on at this point, man. But no, I will say though that looking forward to all the different sports things that are going to be taking place relatively soon. And yeah, for those of you guys that enjoy, excuse me, I was up here eating on the biscuit, but if you enjoy playing these games or whatever, don't let nobody throw you off that track. You know what I'm saying? If you enjoy a game, go ahead, play and enjoy it. If the game is not hitting though, hey, look at other games, play those. That's pretty much where you got to rock at this point. Instead of just sitting up here and trudging through the mud trying to get a experience out of one game. Two, go ahead and just play something else. You know what I'm saying? Play what's going to get you satisfied at the end of the day, regardless of who it is that made it or what their circumstances. So,
yeah, man, and that's the truth. You know, I want to add to that real quick. Smitty is right about that, because you know, I see people always want to give other people flack for what they do and what they play. You know, I even see people routinely comment, not a lot, but a couple every now and then will routinely comment on a video of mine. Oh, wow, why you still playing Madden? Why you did with that trash? Look, man, at the end of the day, we're just venting. Like, as much as I went on a rant tonight, that don't mean I can't play the game. I mean, it's the only football game we got. The only one that matters, because I play on the PS4, and now I play on PC. I don't have a 360. I can't go back and play APF. And APF, let's be honest, it don't keep my attention the same way as it once did, because it's one and done. No franchise, you know, it's none of that. So I can't even have the experience I'm having right now in a sim league that is relatively fun. It's just, it's times when you look at the game and be like, that's crazy. It wasn't nothing I could do right there. But on the flip side, like Kia said, there's games that I can show y'all that are phenomenal in terms of you and the user. I mean, the game was so balanced. Matter of fact, man, I played our last year's Super Bowl champion earlier this year. Lost the game 15-14. That game was incredible the way it went. And my thing was, this is how the game's supposed to play. Not saying the score is supposed to be like that, but there wasn't anything in that game that was crazy, that one of us felt like, wow, your O-line ain't doing nothing. Wow, your defense ain't doing it. We both had dominant defense. We had to earn our points. Nothing was given. And I'm like, see, that's how it's supposed to be. We were strategizing each other. And he actually was able to get the win. I'm driving. I'm on the 20. And I messed around and threw an interception. Could have won the game. But I came away from that game like, oh, man. And again, it was against the Super Bowls, the champ. You know, this dude was dominating people, but for whatever reason, me and him had a heck of a game. So, I don't know, man. I just, again, I'm going to end it with this minute. I know I said I was going to end it a few minutes ago, but I will end it with this. It comes down to my frustration with the game being so driven by dice roll, animation, and two-man sequences. That's my biggest problem with Madden. Let this game play out. Let dominant defensive players cause fits to the offensive line. And hey, you may run into a game where, yeah, maybe he don't have it all in the tank that week. That's cool. But make us know that. Give us things like morale and chemistry and lack of practice and preparation. Or how about this? Like Smitty always talks about, make leverage matter. Maybe the guy that he's going up against, they put an offensive plan together where they're going to block you this way, or they're going to always put two on you. Let me choose who to double, stuff like that. Then I can't complain. But if you get a Von Miller against your standard left tackle and or right tackle, since he rotates, it needs to be fits on almost every play. He needs to be at least causing that quarterback, I can't hold this ball more than 2.5, 3 seconds. You don't see that in the game. That's what I'm saying. We've all played this game and we've seen the best defensive players get stonewalled. And it ain't like it's no battle. It's that same old patty cake, okay, block shit. That stuff has to go. Make the trenches dynamic. Make two-man interactions dynamic. Stop pulling people into these animations. If they could address those two areas of the game, it changes everything. It would be more incompletions in the game because the defender doesn't get that zip to the ball. And haven't y'all noticed that? Why is the defensive player so much faster than the receivers? I mean, they can get to the ball faster than anybody else on the field. I don't understand that. And especially when you use a controlling linebackers. Oh my goodness. Like I said, make two-man sequences more one-to-one and more dynamic. and make leverage and dynamic outcomes play out in the trenches, you got a whole different game. I promise you. That takes this game to a whole nother level because you would see so many different things. And that's where I would end it, man. But all right, guys. Y'all have a good one. Y'all just caught me on the night where I was playing a league game and I was seeing a lot of the nonsense play out. And yeah, it's good sometimes to get that off your chest in public. But anyway, y'all be good, man. Depending on where you guys are located, be safe. I don't know if anybody's experiencing weather. We're actually warming up a bit, and I think we're going to get more snow next week sometime. But should be a pretty clean weekend. But outside of that, man, happy early Friday to you guys that work Monday through Friday. Be safe, be good, God bless, and we shall talk to you guys again next week. Peace.